Hello everybody, my name is Lukáš Melecký and together with my colleague Mikaela Staničková we are from VHB Technical University of Ostrava, and today we would like to introduce you our Innovation Project Management course, Module 2, Innopro course concept. So let's go! When we have been developing our theoretical basis for Innopro course concept, we have been facing with three main questions. First of all, how to be innovative in teaching and training project management discipline, because project management is a very wide discipline teach almost everywhere in secondary schools as well as universities. The second question was what approach and what kind of project methodology to choose for preparing our course interesting for teaching and also for training. And finally, the last question was how to design our Innopro course for fitting to all intellectual outputs in our materials that are consist of theoretical parts, also bunch of practical materials, and all of them are placed in Moodle. Our final solution for Innopro course concept was project cycle management approach. Project cycle management approach present a project management methodology that use generally all the project stages or phases that are combined in so-called project life cycle. This is a universal methodology for managing a project that provides structure of all the processes, but also includes, for example, consulting all the stakeholders and providing them with relevant information through the life cycle of our project. The project cycle management is based on project management methodologies, and for example, one of them from European Commission is divided into 5 phases. There belongs the first phase programming, following by identification, then formulation, implementation, and finally evaluation and the audit. When we are looking for appropriate project management model that could be used in our Innopro course concept on the base of project cycle management and life cycle methodology, we generally start on the classic models of the project management that are presented by IPEC or IPECC models. Well, this classic approach is based on methodology of European Commission. Center of Excellence in Project Management is called Project Management Square methodology. The IPEC model of project lifecycle has 4 phases, which are different type of activities predominant in each phase. The first phase is initiating, following by planning, executing, and closing. The second one, IPECC model, is a little bit different from IPEC model, and the main difference is that this model has generally 5 stages, and the final one, the fifth one, is the phase of controlling. In the rest of stages, these two models are same. And when we have been looking for appropriate model, the IPECC model we have found as one of the typical good backgrounds based on project management square methodology for looking for our Innopro course concept. But let's have a look more concretely what is about IPECC model stages. So first phase or stage is initiating. It means that we are defining the desired outcomes of our project. We are generally creating our business case or project case and defining all the project scope. The initiating phase is following by planning stage. It means we are trying to elaborate on the project scope. We are preparing all the project plan and all the workflows in this plan. Then we have executing phase. When we coordinate the execution of project plans, we are looking for production of all deliverables. At the end of the project, we have closing phase or stage when we generally close the project on a physical way, on the financial way, as well as the administrative, the formal way, and we are also keep attention on reporting of our project performance. Based on these 4 questions, we can also identify monitoring and controlling phase that can be used in all individual phases before, and where we monitor, for example, project performance, project measures, where it means the per-day progress of them. We are also identifying all the changes and we're trying to manage them and address these risks and issues, and, for example, identify some corrective actions. So now we know what does it mean IPEC or IPECC model, and this model has been a background for finding the real and useful Innopro model for our cost concept. And this model is AIDIC model. It consists of 5 project stages. First one is assessment, then is followed by initiation, the third one is design, fourth one implementation, and finally closure. Where we have developed this IDIC model and what was the inspiration? Well, the inspiration was definitely in an existing project management methodology background, and we have been inspired by 2 biggest and well-known project management international organization or institutions. The first one is a Project Management Institute, PMI, where we have a look on the project management body of knowledge, a very well-known PM book guide. And the second one was International Project Management Association, a European way of project management, where we have used the individual competence baseline standard in the 4th version. But of course, I have already mentioned that some background comes from the European Commission Center of External Project Management. This is a project management squared methodology and as well as project cycle management methodology. If we look a little bit deeply to our AIDIC model, we can see very short description of all 5 stages. For example, stage 1 assessment, when we define the problem. It means in this stage we need to identify the problem that will be solved in our project. It helps to visualize the desired results, what will be our differences, what we can see, hear, taste or smell, depends on the outputs and outcomes of our project. Of course, a stage of assessment is followed by initiation. When we developed a solution options, we are working with some alternatives. We are trying to identify availability of all these alternatives. We are trying to looking for suitable solutions according to cost, according to time, according to risk, and so on. The very important stage of AIDIC model is a stage design, where we plan all the workflow of our project. We are trying to answer all the main project questions. It means what must be done in our project, by whom, for who, how much, and when, and so on and so on. Implementation phase that follow after the design stage is generally about executing the project design, executing the project plan, and finally closure stage is a combination or complex of processes that cover monitoring, controlling of progress, and of course physical and financial closing of the project. And this AIDIC model we generally describe to the very detailed structure, and we present you a very individual and very original breakdown of AIDIC model, which is based on a general description in several steps presented by general description, by substages, by real steps of every stage, and then every stage is presented by project outputs. And then we also mention some useful tools and templates that can be used in our individual stages of AIDIC model, and these tools and templates are also part of our practical materials. And when we look to the first part of the table, presented breakdown and structure of 3 stages: assessment, initiation, and design, we can see that it's really a very good guide or guideline for you guys when you will be preparing your project or project proposal. And it doesn't matter if it'll be a business project or research project or any other kind of project. And when we have a look, for example, on a stage initiation as an example of description, we can see some sub-stages as, for example, project identification and definition, that initial project allocation, primary project stakeholders identification, or fundraising. And these sub-stages are following by steps. So it means for the project identification and definition, necessary to have a project purpose, to identify project goals, questions, scopes, deliverables, stakeholders, ground resource analysis, and so on. And these steps generally goes to the project outputs. So the outputs of initiation stage is a project initiation plan, project charter, project scope statement, stakeholder analysis, or for example, ground resources analysis. And for these project outputs, you can use a good and very clever templates as mind maps, logical framework matrix, project charter template, or ground resource analysis templates. And these tools you can find in some selected websites that contain templates, and these templates are also a part of our practical materials. When you've been working in our Innopro concept and you've been preparing your project based on AIDIC model in all 5 stages, these tables will guide you to on your way, and we hope that will help you to prepare your and realize your project as good as possible. So we wish you a good luck with our way of project management. Thank you for your attention.